The Biden administration has imposed new sanctions on Iran's ballistic missile program following the Iranian missile attack on Erbil and the Houthi missile attacks on Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The sanctions target an Iran-based procurement agent and his network of companies that procured ballistic missile-related materials for the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, as well as the Iranian chemical industry. The sanctions package coming despite ongoing negotiations with Iran over reviving the nuclear deal. The US has stated that the backdrop of negotiations will not deter it from targeting those who support Iran's ballistic missile program. So for more insight and reaction, we welcome from London journalist Houman Mirghasemi, and he joins us live on this day. Thank you so much for your time. So these sanctions were imposed in response to this missile attack on Erbil in Iraq. How far-reaching are they? Will they make an impact? Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, technically talking, we have to see what was sanctioned, first of all. A guy called Mohammad Ali Hosseini, who procured what the IRGC needed to make ballistic missiles. Now, Parchin Chemical Industries was sanctioned, which works directly with the defense industries. BP Sadr, which is connected to Parchin. And apparently this guy, Mohammad Hosseini, traveled to China with the IRGC members and used forged documents to buy what the IRGC needed for its missile program. Within itself, I think, of course, it's not enough. It's just one tiny sanction. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this is how Iran and the United States have been negotiating from the beginning. Less during Biden, but what we are seeing right now is Iran and the United States both trying to find leverage, have the upper hand in the negotiations. Now we see, for example, the missile attack on Erbil. And in response, this is what the United States is doing. The message it's sending to Iran is that we could enhance the sanctions, we could increase them. There's always a way back from the negotiations for us. And I think it could be effective to bring Iran back to the negotiation table. But within itself, I don't think it's adding a significant amount of pressure on the Islamic Republic of Iran at this stage.
It does seem a little incongruous that these new sanctions would be coming as the US is still trying to reach this agreement with Iran to re-enter that nuclear deal. What do you think it says about the progress that has been made? How stagnant are things? What is the latest, your understanding?
From what I understand, I think the war in Ukraine changed everything, the entire equation. Now, Europe and the United States and the UK, they're all trying to find an alternative to feed the needs of Europe when it comes to oil and gas. Now, about 2 days ago, I think Reuters published an article about how Turkey was going to be the destination of gas pipelines that were going to come from Iraqi Kurdistan and then to Europe. And apparently an Israeli with the help of an Israeli company or the Israelis. Now, I don't know to what extent this is true. This could just be speculations or one news. But I do understand that Iran at the moment is stopped by Russia because initially Russia wanted to be exempt from the US sanctions when it came to Iran. And Russia wants to build Bushehr nuclear facility. And they estimate that Russia will gain something around $10 billion out of it. The Biden administration is okay with it. They gave the green light. And at the same time, oil prices are going up. So this could be very attractive to Iran. When the Middle East is not stable, especially the Persian Gulf, oil prices go up. Now, this could give Iran leverage again. And for Russia, this is very handy. Because if that was the case, by jeopardizing or sending a message to the Americans and also to Iraq and Turkey, Iran could have at least delayed it for the next round of negotiations. But Iran, at the moment, from what I see and from my colleagues see and all the reports that we read, is more and more becoming a vessel for Russia,
right,
for what Russia needs and for Russia's interests.
Well, we certainly appreciate your insight, journalist Human Mikhasemi, live from London. Thank you so much for your time.